Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video right here on Solana. We're going to do a full update right here. There's quite a lot we need to talk about, so I'll try to keep it. I'll try to keep it clean, and I'll try to keep it short as well, or at least concise. But no, Solana at this point of time is on the verge of a bearish breakdown, unexpectedly. Maybe in hindsight, of course, I could have potentially seen this coming, and so far we haven't broken down yet, right? So it's not said and done yet. But ultimately, what you see right now is that Solana is, I would say, at the last possible support level we have, which is right here, around 162. Solana has dropped down below the value area right here at 167, 168, so that's relatively bearish as well. And just in general, and that's one of the key reasons why I think we have to be a little bit cautious with the price action on Solana right here, is twofold. First of all, the markets right now are under pressure. Now, this morning, the volume is quite low, so these last red candles, I don't really care. But yesterday, the selling pressure was quite exceptional, right? In the sense that usually Thursdays are quite strong. And the volume yesterday during the selling was also quite high, even though equities, for example, held pretty well. Right, so then that's, well, in my opinion, that's mostly interesting. But what that means is that there's selling pressure in the markets that we haven't seen for the majority of May. So then you could start to make the argument, all right, well, it's the end of the month, some longer term longs, or at least some intra-month longs are getting out, and maybe we're getting some sort of a sell in May, go away scenario, which obviously fundamentally would be bearish. So we have that bearish pressure from the markets, which ultimately, of course, because Solana is very correlated to the markets for about 72% to Bitcoin. So that, of course, also has an effect on Solana. And then the second thing, which I think you need to be aware of, is that when we had that move up at the beginning of May, we've left a lot of imbalances right here, right? So usually what that means is that if you have all these imbalances to the downsides, but also to the upsides, it works in both ways. The price can cut through those levels very, very easily, right? So those are two things to be aware of, that, you know, if we actually fail to hold this main support level we have, like I said, which probably is around 162, 161, we can start to descend into well, what is it, like 155, 150 very, very quickly. So that is something I think you need to be aware of. For now, it's quite difficult for me to tell you what's most likely going to happen. I think the best thing you can do is just to be reactive, right? Keep your eyes on that level right here at 162, 161. And then you know, keep in mind the different scenarios and the different setups. So for example, like if we drop down below 161 with low volume, and there's no fundamental reason why we would have a bearish breakdown, right? So let's say that the equities are strong, then I think the best setup is actually trading the mean reversal, basically the reversal back within the range, right? Because if we have a low volume breakout with no fundamentals to back that up, it's most likely we're just going to get back into the range, right? And this is, I wouldn't call this most likely anymore, given the bearish pressure across the markets, and given the potential for some sort of a bearish narrative with the sell in May, go away. So I wouldn't say this is most likely, but I would say it's still pretty close to 50-50, right? Of either doing this or finally getting that bearish breakdown into those imbalances to the downside. So these are the two scenarios, and I think you should be prepared for both. And I think you should keep evaluating the price action, what we do in the 4-hour time frame, what we do in the 1-hour time frame. Keep evaluating the markets in general. So Bitcoin, equities, what are they doing? Are they moving in line with what Solana is doing or against that? If Bitcoin bounces, for example, and Solana tries to get a bearish breakdown, I think this is the most likely scenario still. And just keep track of all of that, and then based on that, create your assumption or your prediction of what's most likely. I think it's best right now, if we're talking about Solana, to expect this, all right? And given the bearish pressure and the potential narrative is also a possibility, expect this. And if we do this, like we reclaim that level right here at 164 with volume, go long. That's at least my setup and my strategy for now. So yeah, I think that's what you need to know about Solana. I would have preferred to give you something like, okay, I think this is what's going to happen. So if you really want that, just take this as that prediction. But unfortunately, and as most of you know, if you've been in these markets, there are times when the markets are just quite unpredictable. But those are my thoughts for now. I think that's what you need to know. So for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.